Hi, Paul. Hi, Sherry. Not sure if you're there.
Hi.
You're here. Way to go.
Hi there.
Mr. Briggs, are you there? Oh, you're still connecting with audio, so it's taking a little bit of time. So how are you, Sherry?
I'm good. I'm good. I was excited to see this because it's been a while. Like my work schedule changed. So the normal Wednesday meeting that I had met you on and had been able to come to, I've not been able to come to for the past couple months. I'm like, I was missing all of you all. So when I saw this, I thought I'm gonna jump on and
Yeah, this is a little bit different. This is the like your which Wednesday meeting are you talking about? The Happy Neighborhood or the Business for Breakfast?
business for breakfast.
Yeah, that's different than this. So this is my group that I've just started. So
Yeah, I thought I would check it out and see what it was about.
Hopefully you'll enjoy it. So it'll be good. So we're a little bit early, so we've got a couple of minutes to catch up. So hopefully we've had a number of registrations, but who knows who turns up? Nobody knows. So it could be just you, me, and Paul. Although I don't think so. I think there'll be a few more dropping in after the top of the hour.
Now, where do you live?
I'm in Melbourne, in Australia.
Okay.
So it's a nice cool day today. My wife likes this weather. I don't. It's too cold for me. So it's 22 degrees. See, whereabouts are you?
I'm in Pennsylvania in the United States, and it is, well, it was this morning it was 12 degrees. It's just freezing. It's terrible. I hate the cold too.
And that's when you say 12 degrees, that's Fahrenheit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is below freezing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's like a frozen Arctic tundra here, and we're getting a huge ice storm. They said up to a half an inch of ice, maybe more, Thursday and Friday. So I'm more of a warm weather person.
Well, it was 33 degrees here Celsius yesterday, which is probably, what would that be? High 80s, I suppose.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So
what's the coldest it gets there?
Probably, I suppose around 5, where we are, probably about 5 degrees C, which would be about 30, maybe 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it doesn't get below freezing here. So.
Yeah.
But that for us, that's cold. So you know that's more rug up weather. You know?
Yeah, we got like maybe the last 2 weeks ago, we got like 6 to 8 inches of snow. So and it's stuck around because it's so cold. It's just not going anywhere. It's not melting.
Yeah, a lot. I came from Dublin. Like I was born in Dublin, so we used to get snow there, but it was more like slush. It wasn't like anything what you've got. But I'm not a fan of the cold weather. Definitely not.
Yeah, me either. No, this morning when I was walking out to go to work, I thought I just need to move to Florida because I love to go to the beach, Florida. So I'm
just keeping an eye on the
is this the first meeting of this, or have you had another one?
No, we've had 3 so far. This is the 4th. So I started in just launched in the last week of December. So and then we've had 3 meetings in January. So it's really day 1 for this, right? So we're building the group, and I plan over probably the next 6 months or so because it's a little bit more than just a networking meeting. Like I've got a back-end website that members join and they get access to a repository, which will have videos and cheat sheets and PDFs and stuff that will help them develop their business. So that's the concept behind it. So it's more than just a weekly networking group.
Okay.
And I'm also looking at running a second meeting now to allow for different time zones. So I'm probably going to run one this evening at 8 p.m. our time, which is 8 hours from now, effectively, to see if that works with some of the people, because some of the time zones obviously don't work for everyone. So
Right. Yeah. I was trying to figure out, okay, 12 o'clock there. And then I went on and found like a converter site because I'm like, what would that be in my time? Which it's like 8 o'clock my time, 8 p.m.
but
for it to start.
but when you registered, did it come up with your time zone on the registration page?
There was a place that I could hit convert time zone, like right
Okay.
under when it said 12 o'clock, Sydney, Melbourne. There was a little place to hit change time zone. And when I put in my time zone, it converted it and told me 8 p.m.
Yep. So because that was one of the things when I decided to run this at this time, that was one of the reasons that I picked that, because I figured, from 7 to 9 p.m. is probably a good time in the US. And it's lunchtime here, which for some business owners is probably not a good time. So it's I'm trying to weigh up, and what I'll end up doing is probably having multiple meetings, or at different time zones to allow for that. So I've just got to work out over the next few months and weeks what the best time zone is, for people. So, are you online, Paul, or are you just listening? You can put your video on. Your mic is open, so maybe you just dropped away. Paul's actually in Australia too, so it's we're just waiting for some more people to come in.
Okay.
So once we get a few people in, we'll get you to introduce yourself. But I suppose if there's nobody here at the moment, but tell me a bit about yourself. What do you do, or what's your passion?
I'm a psychologist. I'm a counselor, and I do online coaching as well. And I do training and public speaking workshops and seminars.
So in any particular niche, or have you got an avatar that you look at helping?
I think that's one of the things that I'm gonna have to figure out, because I have a very wide, I've had 30 years of experience, and I've done trainings on 100 topics probably, and I haven't specialized in any one thing. I work for lots of different companies and colleges, and so I do just everything, lots of different topics. And I think, I'm finding sometimes, like, for marketability, like it seems like you need to find something and say, this is what I do, or this is what I'm at best at. But I like the wide diversity of things I do. So and I work with all age ranges and across the board populations. And
I suppose what that does is like you said, it opens up a wide gamut of things for you as well. So, you're not limited to just one demographic, which probably helps you grow your business as well.
Right. I work there are days where in the morning, I work at the local small mental health clinic, and I might have a client who is, in such poverty, they can't even afford their glasses to see. And then I'll get in the car and I'll drive 3.5 hours, and I work for an NFL sports team where I sit down with a young man who's making $46 million a year. That is just a diverse population.
Hi, Di.
Hi, Fred. Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
We're still waiting on some people to jump in.
That's okay.
So we'll see how many we get. It could just be us. Who knows?
Yeah.
I just must have come in the tail end of that, Sherry, and it's very, very diverse, the two.
Yeah.
That would be very hard to see. You must want to grab all that money from those rich sporting people and spread it around.
Right. Well, and literally one day I sat with a woman in the morning, and she didn't have any teeth, and she couldn't afford dentures. And I drove down to Philadelphia. And that afternoon, I sat with a young man who has so much money he didn't know what to do with, that he replaced all his teeth with gold teeth. So in the morning, I'm with someone who has no teeth, and in the evening, I'm with someone who has all gold teeth. And I was just thinking, what a contrast. And, just it's
I think I would have asked him for some money for the ladies' teeth.
yeah. I would, we just started this organization here in the small town I live in, and it's called Women United. And we, the thing that we do is, there's lots of organizations that'll help people with various things, but with these organizations, there's oftentimes a lot of hoops to jump through, or there's paperwork to fill out, and it's been really neat. We've been doing it. This is the second year, and we're just, if somebody has a need, if somebody puts it out there with this group of women and somebody says, hey, I have somebody who just got a new job and they don't have shoes for work, we get them the shoes. Like I walked into one of my families one time, a family of 5, and they didn't have a refrigerator. All they had was one of those little tiny ones that are like in a dorm, not even the tall ones, just a little square box. And that afternoon, I emailed all the ladies. I'm like, hey, I need a refrigerator. We had a refrigerator the next day. It's just this really neat organization that tries to meet those needs. Like, that we will get this woman her dentures. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm just pinging some of the registrants to see where they are, see if we can get some more people in. But it looks like it might just be us. So
that's okay.
It's okay. So Sherry, you actually, you introduced yourself to me, but you haven't actually, and like Diane said, she came in at the tail end. Would you like to introduce yourself and just so that Diane understands who you are and what you do?
Okay. Diane, I am a psychologist and a counselor, a therapist. I've been a therapist for 30 years. And throughout my practice doing clinical work, I've also always had a consulting and coaching practice on the side. So I do trainings and workshops and seminars. I work for lots of different agencies. I do trainings for colleges, and I work for, like I said, an NFL sports team that I do some coaching for. And that's, about it. I work with all different age ranges and populations, and I am trying to shift my work. The majority of it for 30 years has been clinical. I work all day, sit for hours of therapy sessions. And now I have 3 kids in college, and I'm working to make the shift out of the clinical world and more into the business world. So that's where I'm at right now.
Nice.
And welcome, Gillian. Diane, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep. Hi, everyone. Diane Tipper, and I'm in Sydney, Australia, and founder of Sleep Keeper. So if you're going away or know anyone going away, especially if they travel with their pillow, Sleep Keeper is the best pillow carrier for your own pillow. It will easily compact your pillow to 1/3 of its size, so making it extremely portable. As you can see in the picture, it has a handle, so you can just slip onto your luggage or clip to a backpack, and it leaves your hands free. So normally we would carry a huge, big, bulky pillows, or we leave them at home. With the Sleep Keeper, excuse me, you can easily take your pillow anywhere, sleep better, and be way more comfortable, and not have to worry about the person's head being on the pillow before you. Can't take your bed, but you can take your pillow. That's what I do.
Nice.
And it's an amazing product. It's how long have you launched it? Because I was amazed when you actually mentioned that in another meeting we were in.
Yeah, 8 years ago. It started by falling into it, really, from a girlfriend that travels with a pillow, and I made her a cover for it, and and it's just grown from there.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Gillian, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jill, and I'm a Facebook group and team facilitator. So what I do is I manage Facebook groups right through from everything, and I manage VA teams as well. So it takes the stress out of all the behind the scenes stuff for my clients. I work mainly with coaches, but I'm open to makers as well. And so yeah, that's what I do, and I even do customer service and HR for some of my clients because I have a bigger role, so a bit of a Girl Friday role as well, for want of a better word. So that's what I do.
I guess it's my turn. I'm Fred Gillen. I run a digital agency called More Marketing Ideas, and that's my main gig. I help businesses with their online marketing, whether that's organising their websites, organising their email campaigns, with text messaging campaigns. I connect all the boxes at the back end. So I'm the tech guy that gets rid of the tech stress, and that's really my focus. Not into graphics, not into content, but we can outsource that if people need it. And one of the things that I know a bit of history on this group. One of the things I tend to do is, see something out in the marketplace and jump on it. So probably 6-9 months ago, I was in a group and a lady mentioned that she was selling her, because the year was 2021, she was selling her coaching services for $20.21. And that phrase just grabbed me. So I immediately that day launched a group called the 2021 Community. It was a Facebook group. And it was a free group where people could join, communicate with each other and everything else. But then getting to the end of the year, I felt that there was something missing. So I decided to add in the networking component to that group. And that's what this has evolved into now. So we've now got a networking component where people can meet weekly, share their knowledge, share their wisdom, and learn from each other, and hopefully connect, because that's what I'm hoping to build this group into, is a connector group, so that people will connect with each other and not necessarily do business with each other, but just, set up a referral network so they can promote each other's business to other businesses, and everybody can learn from each other and share their knowledge and share their wisdom. So that's really my focus on this. And I decided to go with the 2021 theme, but the year has changed. It's now 2022. And I set a nominal fee of $20.22 to be a member of the networking group. At the moment, that just changed on the 1st of February. It was a quarterly subscription. It's now a bi-monthly subscription. So people join today, they will be grandfathered in on a bi-monthly subscription level. On the 1st of next month, that will go to monthly. And then the following month, it will go to bi-weekly. And then it will go eventually on the 1st of May, it will go to weekly. So when people come in 6 months' time, they will be paying weekly for access to the group. And that's my concept over the next 12 months, is to build that group into 200 or 300 people. And it'll obviously be my focus to help people network and connect. So that's a bit of the history about the group. Any questions for anybody in the group, not just me?
No, just take it away. Share your information, Fred.
Okay, I suppose
you're a wealth of it.
Thanks, Don. The one thing, what I'd like to find out is why do people attend networking groups? Like, what do you hope to get out of it? So can we start with you, Sharon?
Well, like I said, the first time I had ever attended one was the Business at Breakfast, and that Dorothy had told me about that. And I had only been able to attend maybe 4 of those sessions before my work schedule changed. So I was just getting a feel for what it was like. And then when I recognized you from there and saw that you were doing this, I think the reason I joined was hoping just to get more information and learn from people in the business world, and especially more marketing and that sort of thing, because I have a friend who we went to the same school, we have the same degree, and he's, making a couple $1 million a year, because he's very good at marketing and sales, and he's gotten in with major businesses and companies, and one of the things, that he says to me every time we talk, he's like, Sherry, I've been in the clinical world. He's like, you've got to get into marketing. I mean, I didn't even have a website for the first 28 years of my business. And then I would be at the trainings would happen because it was word of mouth. Somebody would come to one of my trainings and then they'd go back and tell their company, and then their company would hire me, but it was always word of mouth. And when I'd go to trainings, people would come up and go, do you have a website? And I was always like, no. And so I finally did get a website, but now that's sort of obsolete, because in the world of coaching, nobody is going to just go find your website. I don't know how people get found on anything. So that's why I'm here, because I don't know anything about that world.
Di?
You'll definitely, Sherry, learn lots from Fred then. He's, yeah, I'm here because every time I hear you mention something, Fred, it's unique, but so extremely useful. So I do like hearing all your little tidbits and learning along the way. So yes, that's why I'm here.
Short and sweet. Thanks.
Yep.
Gillian?
I'm here to make new connections, especially, and rebuild my Facebook profile after losing it last year. Thank you, Facebook. So I actually took the opportunities because I had over 1,000 friends on my Facebook page, and it was kind of like some of them I'm looking at going, every now and then I go through my friends list and I go, I'd have to actually go into their profile and figure out who they were, and then go, where do I know them from? Where's a connect? Where is there a connection? And I thought there is no connection. So I wanted to sort of grow my Facebook page this time in people that I've connected with, and hopefully on things like these meetups, because you get to know the person better, and you do get more of a connection. So that's part of my reason, and to learn from not only Fred but other people as well, so that come along.
Thanks, Jill. Peter, welcome.
Good morning, and my sincere apologies for arriving late. Excuse me, and I've also got.
I was going to say, you don't sound good, mate.
No, I'm a little bit croaky, but I'm fine.
Would you like to introduce yourself and then probably at the same time answer the question of why do you go to networking groups, whether that's physical or virtual?
Okay, my name is Peter Beckham, as you can see on the screen. I'm involved with sales and marketing coaching for, oh goodness gracious, for too long, 36 years. Okay. I am an Australian like Fred, but I live in a remote little Thai village way up near the Cambodian border. I married a Thai lady 25 years ago, and we've got children and grandchildren here. Oh, I sound terrible, sorry. Excuse me. And I work with people who are, for want of a better word, solopreneurs who love what they do with a passion, and they're good at what they do with a passion. But the thing that they really get stressed out about and challenged about is selling their stuff to somebody else. That's what it amounts to. They just feel uncomfortable in offering their services to a potential client, or even in more specific thing, when they get in a conversation with a potential client and the word PRICE comes up, or fee structure, or whatever it is, they think, oh, they feel uncomfortable with that. They're the sort of people that I work with to show them how to have pride in what they do, and at the same time, show them how to let the potential client make the decision, and don't you impose on them. Don't you Don't you try to convince or persuade them. That's all last century sales rubbish, right? So that's basically what it sounds pretty vague, but it's very important to some people. Why am I here? Well, firstly, to support Fred. Okay, because Fred has been very good to me. I run a mastermind, and he attends it, and it's midnight for him, and I think that's pretty darn special. And secondly, I love meeting new people, and if I can share and support things in any way, then I'm more than happy to do so. I've been around for a long time, and I'm delighted to be a giver. So there you go.
Thanks, Peter. Just on that, as part of the giving exercise, feel free to put your contact details in the chat, so that people can get in contact with you. One of the things, like Peter runs a networking group, and he'll put his details in there. There's no issue about promoting other networking groups. We're all about, abundance and availability. So if you've got another networking group that you think people can benefit from, share it here. I've just got off another networking group earlier, and we did exactly the same thing in there. So there's no restrictions in this group about promoting other people or their businesses. So feel free, just put your contact details in the chat. And the other thing I'd recommend to people is that they set up one-on-ones with people, because you really don't get to know people unless you have a chat with them. So, so set up a one-to-one, have a chat with people, get to know them, and then they'll get to know you as well and help you promote your business. So I'm not sure if Megan's online. She's dropped in, and Paul hasn't really popped up yet. So I've messaged him, but I'm not getting any response. So I don't know whether he's just come in and gone away or what the story is.
Paul did put something in the message. Fred, I've got to head out. I'll join back in.
Oh, I should check the chat, shouldn't I?
Yeah. So yes, he's going to try and pop back in.
That's that multitasking bit.
Yeah, but he's recording it.
Oh yeah, I got it now. Thanks. See, you should be co-host.
I'll be the co-host.
I suppose, like with it, I'll get back to Sherry, because Sherry, you mentioned about marketing. And marketing is huge, right? There's a lot of options about that. So what do you think your biggest challenge at the moment is with marketing?
I would say how to set yourself apart from the thousands of other coaches that are there on the internet. I mean, why would somebody pick me versus somebody else? Like, how did they even narrow that down to know?
Like, know, and trust.
100%.
Right. How to sell yourself.
I think that's what I think that's what this is all about, like the networking component. It's because I don't believe anybody would look for a business coach by searching Google, right? Yes, they might, if, like I would, for example, I'll look for business coaches, but only because I might want to sell them one of my services, right? Mm-hmm. And I go and have a look at their website and I see what's wrong with it. And then I'll go in and, send them an audit of their website and say, this is what's wrong with your website. Would you like me to fix it? So that would be a reason for somebody to search for a business coach. But I think like with that, but you definitely need a presence on the web so that when people look at what you're doing, it looks professional. So, you've got a LinkedIn profile, you've got and for coaches, I'd probably be looking at LinkedIn as a primary focus, not so much Facebook, although Facebook is a good tool, but LinkedIn is really where the professionals hang out and where the business owners predominantly is where, from what I get from what you're saying, you want to target. So business owners and, company owners or whatever it might be.
Also, so Google My Business page.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, every business, irrespective, should have a Google My Business page.
And 100%. It's free, and I've just found it's made a huge difference.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you set that up, and then you can even do posts and different things like that. So it's, and that I think helps with your ranking too, don't you think? Any
client setting up a new business for whatever reason, it doesn't matter what, like Google My Business pages are really designed for local businesses to target the local community. But because it's a Google asset, it helps on all fronts, right? So because if you're using Google tools, they will lift you up in the ranking, right? 100%. There's no ifs about that. And if you don't have a Google My Business, and it's now called Google Profile, they've changed the name, so it's no longer Google My Business, it's Google Business Profile. And the idea there is if you post on Facebook, you should post there as well. The post on Google My Business lasts 1 week. So you need to be updating that once a week.
I think it might be longer now, Fred, because mine is still there.
For you.
Oh, okay.
Right, for you, so that you can retarget that again. But unless they've changed again, but usually they last about 1 week, and that's why they say that you should be, set up a regime so that you can send out information at least once a week. And if you've got an event coming up, you would post the event in there as well, and also on your website and wherever. But anything to do with Google will definitely help your SEO rankings, 100%. So, but networking, I think, is probably one of the best tools. Join as many networking groups. There's the Happy Neighborhood Project that I'm a member of as well. It's another good group, particularly in the US. I think they've got 63 chapters that meet. So different time zones, different states. There's a new one popping up, which is you'll probably get an invite to, which is called a virtual dinner party. That's popping up everywhere lately. You might get an invite to that. It's a different format, but it's probably worth, if you get an invite, it's worth attending. You'll make some connections there as well. So there's a few.
Okay.
I intend to make a list of networking groups that other people are attending and adding that to the members area of the site as well, so people go off and check those out.
I'll have to send you the one that I'm in. It's a women's group in the US. It's called WESOS. I think, don't ask me what the letters mean, but it's a women's meet up group, and they've got face-to-face chapters across the US, and there's one that's an online meet up once a month. And the lady that runs that is in Nashville. So she runs it from Nashville. So we get about 33 people along to that. And I think, I can't remember what the membership, it is an annual membership, but it's really good. Like I went to my first one last month, and for me I was the only Australian on there, so I suppose I felt like a bit of a novelty, but it was so nice. It was for me, it's a great way to expand my reach out to the US, not just Australia, because there are advantages to having a Facebook admin on your team that is in a different time zone, because then you can almost be keeping an eye on what's going on in the group and reducing, especially some of the groups that get hit with a lot of spam, in reducing that, because it might be an hour and their post is only up there for an hour, but not doing the damage that some of them can come in and do in that time.
Yep. The other thing I noticed lately is that, Peter, we might have to just start a men's only group, because these women only groups are popping up left, right and centre, mate. They're killing us.
We're just more dedicated. But
to be honest, Fred, yours is probably one of, Vanessa's, but that always seems to have, we do occasionally get guys in there. There's a few groups that I'm in that are mixed, but I kind of prefer the mixed groups as well, because I would, there's some male Facebook groups that I would like to be hired as their admin for, because I think they need sometimes a little bit of that feminine energy in there. And it's like with a lot of the I suppose the women's only Facebook groups too, sometimes a little bit of male energy. I mean, not all of them are going to work, but I think it's good to have a little bit of both in them. If you stay all in women's groups, I don't know. For me, it's just the energy is exhausting. Whereas I like the men's group because they've got different views of. They come from a different place. They've got different views and different ideas that they can share and enrich the group.
Yeah, I do a fair bit on Clubhouse. So, you know, I'm in a lot of the audio rooms on Clubhouse, and I'm probably one of the few guys that join women's groups on Clubhouse. So even though it's got like, you know, women's in business or women in whatever, I'll go in and join, and I always get invited up on stage to speak. So
Yeah.
it's a great platform, you know, to share not only my knowledge, but also make new connections.
So do you wear a dress, Fred?
Yeah, but you can't see because it's below the screen. But maybe next time I'll put a frilly top on or something, yeah. or a bonnet or something.
Yeah.
Peter, I asked Sherry about marketing issues and whatever else. So you're a marketing guru, you know. So could you share some of your maybe advice for Sherry of how she can probably market her business online to get more awareness?
Okay. Excuse me, Ben. I mean, if if I run out of voice, I run out of voice, right? Sherry, I heard someone refer to know, like, and trust. All right. To be quite frank, that is last century thinking. All right. What you really should be looking at is this. You should be trying to, one, be your authentic best self. Don't worry about tactics. Don't worry about strategies and things. But wherever you are, what you should be doing is trying to create, with your authentic, transparent, and honorable self, a memorable moment for everybody you come in contact with. Let's keep it really simple. And in order to do that, you need to be, one, ordinary. In other words, you got to show your potential client whatever it is, that whatever pain they have, or whatever it may be. Why? I mean, I don't even know, Sherry, my sincere apology, I don't know what you do, so I'm in the dark here, right? But conceptually, if you are speaking to somebody who is a potential person that you can help with whatever you offer, then you've got to be ordinary. In other words, you've got to show that you feel their pain. You've got to show that you understand where they are right now. And also they have to feel that you understand where they are right now. So you're being ordinary. At the same time, you have to be extraordinary. In other words, you've been there, Sherry, before. You know how Peter Beckenham feels, for goodness sake. And you can share with me exactly the wording that's in my head right now. So I think, my God, she knows what I'm all about. Then, by showing that you're extraordinary, it shows that you got out of that rut, out of that problem, overcome that thing, whatever it may be. And that means you are both ordinary and extraordinary. If you can do that, and it's not that difficult to do, but if you do that, then you start to build what I would refer resonance with people. They actually start to resonate with you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When they start to resonate with you, then the logical next step is that they'll start to respect you. And when people respect other people, they listen to them. And not only do they listen to them, but they are inspired by them. Because they've done something that they haven't done yet, but they've come from the same position that they're in right now. So, if Sherry can do it, why can't I, right? So you are inspiring them. And once you can inspire them, then they will be most definitely interested in hearing what you have to say in terms of any recommendation. That's a conceptual introduction for you to think about.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, makes sense?
Yep, it does. Thank you.
That was really great, Peter. Thanks for sharing. I'm actually going to cut that snippet out and just repost it as a standalone, because I thought the way you deliver that was just, yeah. And that's why I'm in your group, because the nuggets you come out with on a regular basis are really amazing. Thanks, buddy.
That was,
Oh, it's
yeah,
my pleasure to help
Thank
Jerry.
you.
I mean, I'm a giver. I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank
That
you.
actually really made sense to me. When you said that, like, no like trust is last century, I'm thinking, from over there, I'm thinking, oh, so what are you going to come up with? And what you came up with is 100% better than that one, because I think sometimes when you're, building up that you aren't your authentic self, because you struggle. For some people, it's a struggle to be their authentic selves, because they want the person to like them and go further. Whereas if you're your authentic self, it just makes it different, because people will pick up on that you being authentic and genuine, as opposed to trying to get you to like them, if that makes sense.
Fred, can I say, so I don't want to dominate the conversation, but can I just answer something what Gillian just said?
Absolutely.
I'm not downgrading the value and the importance of the word trust. That is essential.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What I am saying is this: people, especially on social media, go out of their way to try and get people to like them and know them, on the assumption if they do that, then trust will eventuate. And I'm saying to you, that's a lot of rubbish. There's so much, especially on Facebook, okay, but also on LinkedIn, of fake friendships, put it that way. People are asking you, hey, Diane, nice to meet you. Oh, I love the fact you got those bags behind you, But you don't really give a damn. You're just trying to get a conversation going with Diane. And she knows that. And she's waiting for you to give her a sales pitch, right? That's the thing. Put it another way. I know a lot of people, and I like a lot of people, and I trust a lot of people. But I probably would never do business with them, and they probably won't do business with me. So without the word resonance and respect in there, that leads to inspiration. Your business is not going to go anywhere. And that's the reason why people fail on social media. They spend so much time trying to get people to recognize them, and the thing that becomes so important to them is how many likes do they get. Oh, I only got 5 comments to this post. That's just playing the algorithm game. That's not going anywhere. And you put in a lot of effort for very little money in the bank. Sorry. I should have to laugh.
No, yeah, thank you. You put that how I probably was trying to, what I was trying to say was probably you've just put it heaps better. Thank you, Peter.
If I helped you, you've made my day. That's all.
Oh, you have definitely helped me today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Fred. No, shut up.
No, you don't know to apologize, mate, because I mean, as I said before, when you talk, it's, it certainly resonates with me. Because the wisdom there is obvious, and the care factor about other people is obvious as well, because I've been in lots of rooms with you, and never once have I heard you sell your own services. Never once. And that says a lot.
I don't believe in that. Yep. I don't believe in that. I mean, people will respond to you if you give. People will respond to you if you tell the truth. People will respond to you if you are more than vulnerable, Gillian. More than transparent, but if you are vulnerable, and that takes a lot of guts to be vulnerable, right? And to be vulnerable means being prepared to share that you've made a mistake. Okay, if you have the intestinal fortitude to say to somebody, I really didn't do that very well, that other person's going to think you're real. You're not trying to do anything, you're real. And in this day and age of COVID and uncertainty and skepticism and increased competition online, and Fred knows all about that, right? And that's what makes his business, because he helps to get people seen and visible. But with so much competition online, the key issue is to stand out. And the best way to stand out is to be the best you. That's what I'm getting at. Don't try and pretend to be somebody else. Just be you. And I put in the chat there
I'm-
my
I'm-
website,
I'm-
and I said it's the ugliest on the internet, and it is. And Fred, you can look at it and think, oh my goodness, Peter, what you can do so much with that website, da. And he knows I'm a technophobe. I'm hopeless, right? But it works for me, so I'm just going to leave it as it is.
I'm actually too lazy to try and be someone else, because when you're trying to be someone else, it's hard work.
Yeah, it is. But I was alluding to this. We all can go to all these various training sessions and coaching sessions, etc., because we want to keep learning, because that's a key. There's no doubt about that. But whenever you do that, you need to make sure that you take the information that you learn and put it into your own value system.
Mm.
Okay. Otherwise, you are trying to be someone that you're not. Anyway.
I think what you're saying there has really got a lot of, you know, value to it, because it comes out very quickly. Like if you're trying to put on a facade and pretend you're somebody you're not, when you get to communicate with a client, it comes out very quickly. And they, you know, people aren't silly. Like, okay, maybe years ago people would just take things verbatim, and, you know, because everything's visual now. You know, you're like people can Google me and I'm all over the internet, so I can't hide. You know, and if I'm not truthful about what I'm saying, they'll find out very quickly. You know, if I try and bullshit somebody into a scheme and say, buy my course and I'll make you $1 million in 30 days, you know, it's not going to work, you know, and people get that. So you've got to be yourself and talk about what you do, and then you'll relate to people. And some people will relate to you, some won't. It's like what you said before, Peter. Not everybody's a connection for you, but there are lots of connections.
Well, that's true, but you shouldn't think that everybody may be a potential client either. Okay. I approach let's say I was talking to Diane and we've never met before in our lives, okay? I wouldn't be having a conversation with you, Diane, in order to get you as a client. That's the first thing, right? And you would know that from the conversation we were having, because Fred alluded earlier, I don't try and sell my service to anybody. I don't need to do that, right? Because if people need help, they will reach out. That's how it works for me, right? But when I'm talking to someone like Diane, I will have my total attention on you. And I want to know what makes you tick. I want to know what gets you out of bed in the morning. I want to know what's really important to you in life before I even think about anything else. Because to me, relationships are everything. Okay, that's the important thing. And that's the bit that's missing sometimes in people's business. People buy people before they buy their business. But you know what it's like. People send you out a connection on LinkedIn or on Facebook, and how are you, blah, blah, blah. And then within a nanosecond, you got this link being sent to you, right?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Or you're on their email list.
Yeah. Or they friend you on Facebook, and as soon as they've done that, the next thing they've invited you to join their group, and it's like, or back when you could just add people to groups. I remember getting really annoyed because someone had friended me, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll friend you back and I'll start following your page and you know, get to connect with that. The next thing, she's added me to a dog walking group in Melbourne, and I live in Western Australia. It's like, why would I want to be in her dog walking group? I mean, it's not like, what does she think? I'm going to hop on a plane every Saturday to, you know, go over there? And it's just like, and so it really put me off. And I think I even just went, well, really, if that's all she friended me for was to grow her group, I don't want to know, you know, I don't want to know. I want to, you know, and I love dogs, just so don't get me wrong. If, you know, if she had a certain breed of dog that was really different, I'd be interested in learning about that breed from her. And that's how I would build the connection with her. And that's what I see of people trying to grow their groups really fast and have, you know, 10,000 people in their group, and they'll let absolutely anybody into their group. And that's rather than building the group slowly and building that tribe in the group, so it's more connected and people feel connected to each other and stuff like that. And that's where they can go, oh yeah, I remember that lady Diane, she's in the group and she does those pillow things, and I'm going on a holiday and I want to take my pillow with me. Do you know what I mean? And because they've seen you in the group maybe comment, and not necessarily about your pillows, but that's, you know, they can see from your profile that's what you do or whatever, or you shared something about, hey, look, you know, I know what it can be like when you want to take your own pillow, and by the time you get there, you've got the pillow slip on it and it's really manky because you haven't got a decent cover for it. So they're the things is building up those genuine connections with people. And I agree. I don't think you need to sell your business per se, because people go, oh yeah, you're becoming, because you've made that connection with them, that built that relationship with, you're top of their mind for when they're looking for the service that you offer.
You know, it's interesting, Julian. My Facebook group is not even 200 people. All right. And I'm going to put a limit of 500 on it anyway, because if it gets too big, then you lose the connections. And within that group, but they are like, they're a community. On the chat, I've called it my Facebook community. It's a community. It's not a Facebook group, right? And if anybody wants to join that group, and I see that they're in a member of 400 other groups, I don't even bother to take them, for example, right? Because I want them to make sure when they come into that type of group, and I'm not trying to sell the group, because I just want to share conceptual of groups. When that group is all about people helping each other, people reaching out to each other, people working together, people trying to, and I encourage them to network with each other, okay? Which is what Fred's doing here, okay? It's the same thing. But at the same time, I also want them to be honorable, ethical with each other, okay? Anyway.
I think the other thing, when you're talking about making connections and the way people go about it, I mean, one of the things that irritates me particularly about Facebook is that you'll get people that'll, you know, give you a friend request. And usually I'll check out that profile, and they've got one or two posts in it, and I just ignore it. If they've got reasonable content on the profile, I'll go, yeah, okay, let's connect. And, you know, usually I'll say, good to connect. Is there anything I can help with? Just feel free to reach out. Pretty standard type of intro. And then I'll get a question back, oh, what do you do and where are you? And I'm going, mate, it's in my profile.
Yeah.
You know, you don't check out my profile. Well, this conversation is going nowhere. We're not going any further, you know? So it's just, and that's the one thing, and it's pretty important when you connect with people that you look at their profile, you know, because you don't just want to accept friend requests just for the sake of friend requests. Like if somebody's selling affiliate marketing, they're not my client, you know, and they're not my connection. And I don't help people with affiliate marketing. So, you know, and I use Facebook for business. I don't use Facebook. I don't post anything about family on Facebook. I purely use Facebook for business. So unless I can see a connection there that I can help somebody with their business and I know what they're doing and I can help them, then I'll go ahead with the connection. If they can help me with my business, I'll go ahead with the connection. But if there's nothing there and they're in a different genre or a different industry or whatever else, and I can't see any benefit, then I don't go ahead with the connection. I just say, thanks, but you know, we're probably not a good match.
When people send me friend requests, what I'll often look at is go, if we were meeting in real life, would this, or if this person lived in the same town as me, would we be friends? Would you know, would we move in the same circles? Would we have similar interests or something like that? You know, since opening my recreating my Facebook profile, I've been hit on, and I don't know why, but I've been hit on by a lot of women that are all about being mothers, you know, and that's what they do. They help mums deal with kids that don't sleep in that. And I went, I've been there and done that, and it's not really my social. They're not really the people I want to be socializing with. I'd rather be socializing sort of, I suppose, more my age and people that are got similar interests to me as well. So yeah, I think people just collect Facebook friends because then it looks like they, you know, oh wow, she's got 3,000 friends. Well, really? I mean, most people in real life wouldn't have 3,000 friends. They might have 3,000 acquaintances. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's just, and it's yeah, and I think I try and do quality over quantity. Quality over quantity.
Yeah, the other thing is this: be careful with your Facebook and LinkedIn profiles, because it should not be about you. Okay, your Facebook and LinkedIn profiles should be about the people you want to serve. When it comes to let's take Facebook as the example. There's a tab under your personal profile called About. Now, in that About, you should actually be putting in there, these are you should be appealing to the people that you want to speak with. So when they check you out, they think, wow, Julian's talking about me. That's the sort of reaction you want, right? Rather than, I'm this and I've done that and I've got this qualification, I've been doing it for 20 years. People don't give a damn. They want to know, what can you do for them?
Yeah.
And if you've taken the time to share some of your personal real estate on your profile to show that you really do give a damn, and you do, this is the sort of people that you like to work with and help, and these are the problems they normally face, okay, then you may find a completely different set of reactions coming to you. Food for thought.
Well, guys, we're coming pretty close to the top of the hour. I hope everybody got some value out of today. I know I did. Diane had to leave. She just posted in the chat that she had another appointment to go to. So we've missed out on her. I'm not sure if Megan's there or listening. I'm assuming she's off camera. So, but I'll probably call it unless anybody's got any other questions or anything they'd like to share.
Thank you, Fred. It was a very interesting evening. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Megan.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Fred.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
Fred.
you all, and thank you for your nice welcome and your advice. I appreciate it.
Hopefully we'll see you same time next week. It's on every Wednesday. As I said, I'm looking at probably doing a second meeting, and I'll put the feelers out this afternoon to see if anybody's interested in attending one at 8 p.m. tonight, Australia time. So yeah, you counted the number of hours.
We should.
But that's 7 hours from now.
We should click and save the chat, right?
Oh yeah, please. Yeah, just click. If you don't know how to save the chat, it's just the 3 dots at the bottom. If you click on the 3 bottoms of the 3 dots at the bottom of the chat, it will give you an option to save the chat. And it will normally ends up in your documents/Zoom folder. So when you click on it, it usually opens it up in your file or view anyway. But if you lose it, it's usually in the documents/Zoom folder. And then you can pick up everybody's contact details, and feel free to reach out to everyone for a one-to-one, so you can get to know people a bit better and help grow your business. Okay, guys.
Thank you, Fred. You do a great job.
Appreciate everybody being here. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.